Nighttime is the right time, as the sun goes down in Old Town Dubrovnik. Once you enter the walled city from Pila Gate, you experience the merger of centuries-old history and architecture with modern-day cafes, shops, and bars. The Stradun, also known as Plaka, is a limestone paved pedestrian street, and what we see today was created after the devastating earthquake of 1667. There's plenty of people watching as you stop off at some of the cafes, bars, restaurants, and shops along the way. Perhaps the most popular area to hang out is Luža Square. It's a very small version of New York's Times Square. It was built in 1463 and was renovated in 1952. The 102-foot high bell tower was originally built in 1444 by 3 local masters. However, it suffered major damage in the 1667 earthquake, was eventually demolished in 1928, and entirely rebuilt to its original design in 1929. It was damaged again in the 1979 Montenegro earthquake and restored in 1988. The colored brass face of the clock with the hand shows the phases of the moon. The bronze bell that strikes every hour was built in 1506. Next up is a very important church in Old Town Dubrovnik, the Church of St. Blaise, as St. Blaise is the patron saint of Dubrovnik. This Roman Catholic church was built in Baroque style and was completed in 1715. When it's lit up at night, the entire square comes alive. A little further down next to Rector's Palace is a statue of Marin Držić, Dubrovnik's Shakespeare, a 16th century Croatian writer who is considered to be one of the finest Renaissance playwrights and tragic comedy writers of Croatian literature. You can see the shiny spots on his nose where the bronze is worn down due to people rubbing his nose for good luck. The bronze on his lap is also worn down as people sit on his lap posing for pictures. If you walk down this street, you'll come across the Roman Catholic Cathedral of the Assumption of the Virgin, also known as Dubrovnik Cathedral. It was completed in 1713. We continue to Gundulić Square, which features a statue of Dubrovnik's most famous poet, Ivan Gundulić. The bronze statue was erected in 1892. As you can see, there are a few cafes in the square, but if you walk straight ahead to the right, you will come across a very recognizable staircase. These Jesuit Baroque stairs were built in 1738 by a Roman architect, which is why there is a resemblance to the Spanish steps in Rome. These stairs were featured in the infamous Walk of Shame scene in Game of Thrones. If you see people taking selfies here, they're either fans of Game of Thrones or they've heard of the scene in Game of Thrones. I'm in the latter category. When you go up the stairs, you see 2 important buildings. First, the Church of St. Ignatius. It's a Jesuit church that was opened in 1727. Adjacent to it is the Baroque Collegium Rhagusinum, a Jesuit college that was founded in 1658 and is now a high school and seminary. Now for a change of pace, let's visit Old Port Dubrovnik. This is where you can take scenic boat rides out on the Adriatic Sea. I took a 45-minute panoramic boat ride during the day and got great views of Old Town Dubrovnik, Lokrum Island, and the Adriatic Sea coastline. Old Town Dubrovnik has many alleyways, and it's best to just wander around and explore them. Here you'll find many cafes, restaurants, bars, and shops. Last but certainly not least is one example of Italy's former influence on Croatia not related to art or architecture: gelato.
Come to Papa, oh baby. Good. I'm splurging with chocolate and vanilla. It's a gutsy move.